Nick, Wild Web, Heavyweight, 11-0, 9 knockouts. Subscribe to Sporting Icon for your latest boxing news. Come!
So last night on the British Beef card, there seemed to be a bit more action, interest, if you like, outside the ring than what there was in the main event. I think that's probably the fair thing to say. And one of the stories is that David Haye and Joe Joyce bumped into Derek Chisora. Derek Chisora offered his services to fight Joe Joyce on May the 5th on the BellewHaye undercard. And there was an offer of like 80 grand or something, and Derek Chisora saying that, you know, contact whoever, you know, just come directly to me, send me a message and we'll sort it out. I'll either give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Joe Joyce said, yeah, I'm interested. David Haye seemed quite excited about the prospect of his protege, who's only had one fight so far against Ian Lewison, to take on Ian Lewison's stablemate in Derek Chisora, also formerly David Haye's opponent. There was also talk as well about potentially Joe Joyce taking on Nick Webb, because Eddie Hearn came around the corner and said that you know, he likes the fight for Joe Joyce and Derek Chisora. But of course, Derek Chisora is going to be fighting on March the 24th on the Dillian Whyte versus Lucas Browne undercard. And he said Nick Webb. David Haye said to Joe Joyce, how do you fancy Nick Webb? Joyce was like, yeah, no worries. Now, Joe Joyce, he's got a fight coming up. Like I said, he's already had one fight where he beat Ian Lewison. And he's got a fight coming up in, is it 2 weeks' time, I believe it is, against a guy who is 4-1, I think he is. He's his name is Rudolf Jozik. Like I said, he's 4-1. Now, this will be on the 16th of February. I'm not too sure where, but either way, I imagine it's probably going to be on the Dave channel. Now, should he be successful in that fight, which you probably imagine that he would be, even though this lad is Rudolf Jozik, who's from Croatia, has a record of 4-1. He's pretty young in himself. He's 25 years old. And I say his knockout ratio is, out of his 4 wins, he's knocked out 3 of his opponents. So clearly he's got something about him. But of course, his one defeat, which was his fight before last, where he got knocked out in round number 7 of 10. So Joe Joyce has got this one to think about first. So like I said, that will be on the 16th of February. So only, 2 weeks away. And then David Haye says that he wants to try and get him out again, pretty sharpish, and then again on his undercard. So Joe Joyce versus Derek Chisora, or Joe Joyce versus Nick Webb, looks like that could be on the undercard of Haye and Bellew, the rematch. So at that point, Joe Joyce, in theory, should be 3-0. And now, which one do I prefer? To be honest, I'm not too fussed. I like both fights for Joe Joyce, I really do. I think that Nick Webb, obviously he's younger and he's more hungry. Derek Chisora is all about the money. You know, just pay me the money, I'll turn up. If I win, I'll win. If I lose, I lose. Which isn't really a great attitude. And that seems to be the kind of like the common theme coming out of the Don Charles training gym, where the only guy who's really seems hungry and focused at the minute, well, I say only one, but out of his main guys is Frank Buglioni. So Derek Chisora just seems uninterested. His last fight, obviously he lost to Ajit Kabayel over in Monte Carlo, and that was for the European title. That was a fight that he was expected to win and then go on and have a rematch with Dillian Whyte. Ultimately, he lost on points and pretty much let himself down. But of course, his trainer didn't even turn up. So not even too sure what's going on there. But I think Derek Chisora versus Joe Joyce, like I said, that's got a little bit of spice to it, with the fact that Derek Chisora is not only Joe Joyce's last opponent stablemate in Ian Lewison, but also a former opponent for David Haye. Nick Webb, for me, it would be great if he was to have another fight or 2 before May the 5th, and maybe feature on that card anyway, even if it's not against Joe Joyce. And hopefully Nick Webb will be hanging around Matchroom a bit more often. Obviously last night when he won in a round 2 devastating knockout, impressed Eddie Hearn. And Eddie Hearn tried to make Nick Webb versus Daniel Dubois for the English title. Then it went to purse bids. Frank Warren pulled out Daniel Dubois. Seems to be a common theme with Frank Warren. If he can't get the show on BT, then he's not going to allow his fighters to fight, which is kind of holding them back in some ways. But maybe Nathan Gorman, but again, there's an issue. Nathan Gorman's with Frank Warren. And if Nick Webb wants to stay with Eddie Hearn, these kind of things are going to happen where he may not get all the fights that he wants. But either way, no matter who it's against, be for the English title, hopefully, for Nick Webb. And should he win that one, which I fully expect him to, I do expect him to be one for the future. Big lad. Very, very powerful, devastating knockout. So he's now 12 wins undefeated, with 10 of those by knockout. And no more so brutal than last night. And I'm sure his opponent has still got that mask of gas and air on him. So you let me know which fight would interest you the most. Joe Joyce versus Derek Chisora on May the 5th, BellewHaye the rematch, or Joe Joyce, Nick Webb. And who knows, maybe the English title could be on the line in that one. So drop your thoughts below, click a thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you next video.